Most of us know our speaker today. She's one of our own, Starkville Rotarians, and truly lives the service above self, as we'll see later in today. Aundrea Self is a Starkville native and Starkville High School graduate, and spent 26 years at WCBI, which most of us know her for, where she anchored the evening news, hosted midday or mid-morning with Aundrea, midday also, I think, and covered significant regional stories. She also served as an adjunct instructor in MSU's Department of Communication. And then she came to Mississippi State in January of last year and brought this award-winning broadcast journalism experience to her current role as Director of Outreach and Engagement at Mississippi State's College of Business. She lives our motto, service above self, as she currently serves on the boards of Starkville Community Foundation, Boys and Girls Clubs, the Honored Warriors Memorial Foundation, and today we'll hear about 100 Women Who Care, as well as on the boards of MSU Summer Scholars, and is a life member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She's married to David Nichols, and they have 3 children, Alan, Kimberly, and Emily, and we welcome you to the podium, Aundrea.
Following nothing to do about Rotary is tough. But it also is going to bring us back in. It's going to center us all. So thank you to the program committee for asking me to participate. I'm glad that we're back. We got the week off last week because of the weather, and I think we can all attest to the fact that we are blessed that we escaped really the brunt. I think we've seen what our neighbors north of us are going through. So of course, they're in our thoughts and prayers as they continue to recover from that. If you've been following our emails and newsletter, you probably were expecting, and you may have been expecting Julie Jordan to be here this morning to talk to you about AI. So the bad news for you is that I'm not Julie Jordan, and I'm not going to talk to you about AI. Also, I am not, this is me. This is not the AI generated me that you might see sometimes people doing on social media, which is kind of creepy, don't you think? But what I am going to talk about, I think, is something that all of us in here can relate to. It's one of the reasons I think all of us have joined Rotary. It's one of the reasons I did, and it's all about our shared interest for Starkville and making Starkville the best that it can be, not just surviving, but thriving. I think, you know, you look across this room, this is a diverse group of people. We come from lots of different sectors in our professional lives: healthcare, the financial world, the legal world, education. But all of us joined, I think, this organization because we want to see Starkville better, and this is a way to do that. And we're probably involved in a bunch of other organizations where we do that as well, so we sort of double dip in our services, but that's okay. And I find myself in that same situation sometimes. I will say from my former career, 26 years of like telling the stories in this area, I got up close and personal a lot with some of the deficiencies in our community and some of the places where we need help and where people need help. Telling people stories, being in their homes, or, you know, having them come to our studios and talk about the things they were going through. And I will say that hearing some of those stories is part of what inspired me to get involved, to see how I can do better, just how I can be a helper, a person who can help move things forward. So that's what I'll be talking to you about today, my involvement in a couple of organizations that you may have heard of. And you may have said, okay, I know about Starkville Community Foundation, but what do they do? Or I've heard of this 100 Women Who Care, but what do they do? How did they organize? I hope to give you a little more information about that in the time that we have, and I'll go fast. I taught this morning a class of 186. I teach Intro to Mass Communication, and we're talking now about the ways in which we've learned to sort of multitask, like with our phones in our hands. If we're in church, we're scrolling Facebook and Instagram, so put your phones down. All right, listen to me. Okay, this morning we're going to get some good information. So let's start out talking about Starkville Community Foundation. Many of you in this room may have heard of it. You may actually have been involved in the early days when it was called SOAR. Anybody in here remember the organization SOAR? Okay, a few people. So it was Starkville Ottawa Achieving Results. So that was back in about 2005, I believe. And in 2023, SOAR transitioned to what we now know as the Starkville Community Foundation. It's a nonprofit group. Basically, that is, what we do is help community organizations. We help give them funding to do the work that they do. We are also an affiliate of the Create Foundation, and many of you have heard of the Create Foundation, which is based out of Tupelo, Mississippi. We are one of 15 affiliates for the Create Foundation. And the Create Foundation basically is sort of a hub to help manage the financial endeavors of these foundations and help them to disperse their funds and help them with investment management and things of that nature. It makes it a little bit different for us at this level, but we can just focus on doing the work and not so much focused on trying to handle the money that's involved with the foundation. So we have several different ways that people can get involved and several different ways that we operate and initiatives that we are focused on. Our biggest, I guess, our priority really is just making things better in different sectors of our community. In healthcare, in social services, in education arenas, we try to help organizations that are already existing, help them financially so that they can continue the good work that they're doing. We have a few ways that we do that. 100 people who care. You may have heard of 100 women. We've sort of branched now. We've got 100 men who care. We've got 100 kids who care, which was started by some of the children of some of us. And then we have the Leave a Legacy Fund and Club 1000. Club 1000, I'll tell you a little bit about more in just a moment, how you can get involved in that and what that money helps to fund. The Leave a Legacy is really focused on growing our endowment. So the endowment really is what helps us to be a lasting and sustaining organization, that we get that endowment to a specific point and then we can live off of it and continue to help our community forever and ever and ever. So we're really interested in growing that endowment. So these are some of our community projects that those initiatives help out. Helping Hands, our Innovative Educator Grants, and our Special Community Projects. Many of you in here have heard of Helping Hands. How many of you have heard of the Helping Hands organization? So for a long time, I believe churches in Starkville help to fund Helping Hands. Churches here in Starkville would designate a certain amount of money that they would donate to Helping Hands to help that organization do the work. The basic thing that Helping Hands does is help people with their utility bills, okay? You have people in the community who may have fallen on a hard time and they need some help with the utility bill. Well, COVID, as you know, affected a little bit of everything. And so some of the churches sort of fell off of that roster of people who were contributing to Helping Hands. So that was one of the big missions when the Starkville Community Foundation got together and under the Create Foundation, was to get Helping Hands back up and running. So now it is. We are now back to providing those emergency funds to people in our community who may need it. A person can get up to $250 on their electricity bill, but that's not all. It's just not, hey, come get the money. There is also resources that we will direct you to help you plan your budget, to help you get in a situation where you're not having to come back. People can come back 6 months at a time. Once every 6 months they can get the help. But the most important thing that we do is then point them to some resources at the J.L. King Center, where they can take GED courses, where they can take financial literacy courses to help them get in a situation where they can, in fact, be on their own and not have to depend on services like that. The Club 1000, that's one way that we sustain Helping Hands. So we've got a number of organizations, and I didn't list them all, organizations and individuals who pay $1,000 a year, and they are part of our Club 1000, and that helps us to fund Helping Hands and a few other projects that we do. So if you're interested in being a part of Club 1000, you can go to the website and find out more information about that. The other way we fund it, and we're so grateful for the partnership with Starkville Utilities, is through working with Starkville Utilities, our Power of Change initiative. So basically what happens is, when you get your electricity bill from the Starkville Utilities, you can opt to round up your bill, and then what you round up goes into this fund, and that helps us to help out Helping Hands. It is an opt-in situation, so you have to go to Starkville Utilities, call Starkville Utilities, go online. I'm a 4-county girl, so I don't really know how it works in there, but I think you can go online and you opt in to participate in the power of change, and this is a small way you can help people in your community. And so we're really grateful. It took us a while to get this up and running, so we're really grateful to Starkville Utilities for doing that. Already, they have made a payment to us from people who opted to round in, so we really appreciate people who've already done that, and I would ask that you would consider doing the same. Another one of our special projects is our innovative teacher grants, and again, we are so fortunate and so grateful to really I think this is a community partner. I think we've seen their hands over lots of things. Chick-fil-A helps in so many ways here in our community. The Rogers are so generous with their time and with their resources. But one of the ways they are helping the Starkville Community Foundation is by funding our teacher education grants. So these grants go to teachers at every school in Ottawa County. All the teachers have to do is go online and apply if they have a special project that they are doing in their classroom or with a club maybe on campus. And they tell us how they're using, how this $1,000 grant can help them. We go through, we've got a committee of people, we go through them, we judge them, and then we decide who gets them. And then at some point during the year, we go out to the schools and we come with the big fat checks, which we love to do. And the teachers get those $1,000 checks to help them with those projects. The way Chick-fil-A, they don't just write us a check, say, hey, here's, $1,000 from us selling chicken sandwiches, but it does come from them selling cookies. Chick-fil-A cookies are fantastic. So every time you buy a cookie from Chick-fil-A, it goes toward our teacher innovative grants. And last year, they raised enough money from cookie sales alone. Y'all are buying a lot of cookies. That we were able to give away $1,000 grants to a teacher in every school in Ottawa County. We were so pleased last week at the Starkville Development Partnership Banquet to recognize our teachers as one of the things. They get the check, they get to host their event with the money, but we also like to introduce them to the business community, so we introduced them at the Greater Starkville Development Partnership Banquet, and so we did that last Tuesday. So that is a way that you can help with the teacher innovation, is go to Chick-fil-A, buy a cookie when you go through. So, which leads me to 100 Women Who Care. I'll spend the rest of the time that I have left sort of talking about 100 Women Who Care. 100 Women Who Care started as an organization unto itself. We now fall under the umbrella of the Starkville Community Foundation as one of the initiatives. But this organization started in 2020. So take your mind back to 2020, if you will. Say maybe March through about October of 2020. When we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were all holed up in our homes. We didn't know what we didn't know. There was a lot of fear, and there began to emerge, I think, in a lot of us, I can say for myself specifically, because while many of you may have been home and where you work may have shut down, the business I was in at that time didn't shut down, so I had to go to work, and we were hearing all these stories of things and businesses that were suffering and people that were suffering, and I think all of us felt helpless at some point during the year 2020 and maybe into 2021, because what can I do to help? So Allison Bueller, who won the Community Service Award, by the way, last week at the banquet, had found out about this organization called 100 Women Who Care, who had started in this small town in Illinois by a woman who had found out about a need in her community. The need in her community at that time was that there were women there who did not have proper cribs in their homes to take their newborn babies home in. So she was at a meeting with some friends, there was a brunch, there was some talking, and they thought, and she said, well, I know 100 ladies. She found out that the number of cribs that were needed for this organization, she found out it was about $10,000, and she said, I know about 100 ladies that will probably write a check for $100, and we can raise this money. She went to a meeting, and she raised over $12,000. And instantly she said, it clicked in her mind, if we can organize and get around something as important as this is something we can spread throughout the community. So that's how 100 Women Who Care was born there in Illinois, and now there are over 700 100 Women Who Care chapters across the country. So Allison Bueller had heard about it. She called a few of us, some of these ladies who you see here, and some who have moved on to other things. And we met on the front porch of someone's house, because we weren't going to each other's houses at that time, you know, we didn't know. So we are on the front porch of her house. She tells us about this organization, and she goes, you have 10 people, you've got 10 people, you've got 10 people, and before you knew it, we had raised $18,000 after that one meeting on the front porch of someone's house, because we saw the need in the community. I think you all saw also during that time Starkville Strong, which has become one of the most effective philanthropy organizations in our community, started during COVID as well, out of this need to help businesses who had lost so much money because we weren't going out to eat or we weren't going out to shop anymore. So this was the same concept. We wanted to help in some very specific areas. Our initial focus is we wanted to help with social services, we wanted to help with mental health services, because a lot of people were struggling in those areas. We wanted to help in the areas of education, because teachers had to struggle to put all their courses online in a world they had never lived before. We raised the money, and what we came up with, this is how we're going to distribute this $18,000, and at the end of it all, it was $26,000 over the course from October to March. So we decided we would have a grant application. You fill out an application for a grant, and what you must do to fill out an application is, we don't want to fund the operation of your organization. We want to fund a project of your organization. So you have to spell out very specifically for us what your project is, how impactful it is, how many people it helps, and then our board gets together, we go through all the applications, we whittle it down, and then every woman who has paid her $100 gets to vote on which of those projects that we fund. It is easy, it is simple. And that, for us, has always been sort of our selling point for 100 Women Who Care. So this was our first year, $26,000. These were the projects that we were able to fund. Starkville Strong's Homeless Initiative, a program at J.L. King, a program for the Boys and Girls Club, the Sunset Pavilion that's out for Habitat Humanity that's out in the Sunset community. We helped to fund that, and then we helped with something with the Starkville Area Arts Council. We have grown since that time. We now are focusing and highlighting some of the projects that we have funded over the years on our Facebook page and on our Instagram. And I will say we are so happy we partnered with a group of students from the Department of Communication, the PRISM group there, that helped us come up with a fantastic marketing campaign to help improve our visibility and help us to really get more members to join us. But these are some of the other groups that we've helped. Again, this is Black Girls Rock of Mississippi. But what we have tried to tell ladies in our community, and even the men now, because we have 100 men and 100 kids, is that this is a simple way for you to help. Every person does something very small, but it makes a really big impact. It doesn't take a lot of your time. None of us wants another meeting that we have to go to. So there's one meeting a year, and that's where you come and vote, and you don't even have to show up because we also do it virtually. You pay $100, and then you make a really big impact in our community. We typically start our campaign in October, and it goes to March, and we do our vote on our projects in the month of March, and it coincides with International Women's Month. We've been so fortunate over the last few years that Amy Tuck has offered up space at the La Quinta for free for us to come, and we usually have refreshments. We talk about the projects, and for those people who are not there, they can vote online, but we do it live on Facebook. It's sort of a little broadcast, and it's always such a great feeling to know that these projects that are happening in Starkville, that we're able to contribute just a little bit to help them keep going and keep helping the people here in the community of Starkville. We've got about 10 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions about either one of these organizations or anything else about the Starkville Community Foundation? Again, 100 Women Who Care, 100 People Who Care, and even the Starkville Community Foundation is a way for you to contribute, to give back to Starkville resources and time. So, you know, we want money, but we also need your time to help us to make these things happen. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer if I can.
Is there any effort being made to get part of that $55 million from sale of our hospital as an endowment for the community organization?
is absolutely something that we have talked about. Would you like to chat about that? Yes.
No, not at this time. I think I heard the question, and it's still on the table.
Yes, so,
Trying to get something done. It's a great question, and hopefully it'll be a positive thing that will happen.
What was the question?
was there any effort to get some share of the $55 million from the sale of the hospital? And we certainly have spoken about that as a board, and to me, it's a logical way to make sure that that money gets into our endowment and helps us for generations to come. So we shall see.
If I could add something to that, that is a decision by our supervisors. They have been approached by it, so if you'd like to make a phone call, we appreciate it.
Yes, many of us have made calls and had lunches and had this conversation with them, but ultimately it will be up to our board of supervisors. Yes, sir.
Do you know what the balance of our DeWitt County community fund?
Our endowment, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's in excess of 400,000, somewhere around in there. So we're still trying to grow. Yes, ma'am.
When you donate time,
Yes.
what is the time, what do you do for that?
So I will say for 100 Women Who Care, we meet as a board, our group meets once a month. We try to meet once a month. So the time that you're giving is helping us really from October to March to get the word out. We try to come up with different ways to get the word out. I mean, we're using email, we're using social media, we're using, sometimes I go, okay, make a list of 10 people that are that's in your contacts. Here's the message we're going to send out. Here's the link, and send it to them. So really, it's just coming up with ways to get the word out in terms of 100 people who care, 100 women who care. The Starkville Community Foundation they're within those organizations that we help. They always need more manpower.
Andrea.
Yes, sir. Yes.
This is a loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
Not bad loaded.
Okay.
Okay, you talked about early on the Starkville Strong started. What was the first seed money put into Starkville Strong?
What was the first? I have no idea. Was it Rotary?
Anybody in this room remember?
Yeah.
$5,000 from the Starkville Rotary Club that first month.
That's amazing. And do you see what that seed money has done? I mean, the Starkville Strong group, and it started on Facebook. If you all will remember, it started basically as how's everybody doing out there? And people started to comment, and then I believe the Harringtons from that point started to organize because they saw and they heard the need in the community. And it was just, like when you think of something organically starting, the Starkville Strong organization is one that really organically started and has continued to grow in that manner. And it's something that people believe in. I think people trust the work that they're doing, and that's been a testament to their success, I believe.
Just something to think about in addition to this, and I've got my CPA sitting behind me here. You can make a donation to this organization from your IRAs,
Yes.
and you make that donation and you don't have to pay taxes on that. So that's a lot of help to yourself and to whoever's going to end up with your IRA. But that's an opportunity.
That's exactly right, in that Leave a Legacy endowment fund.
Is there an age,
You're looking at me, you need to look at him, Clyde.
is there an age limit on that? You can't do that until you're a certain age, or you can do it at any age? Okay.
Required minimum
We're
distribution.
talking about, the required distributions.
This R&Ds is what we're talking about.
Right.
It starts at 73.
And we have had some success there, Mayor.
What organizations do y'all have, or you just take a list of whoever gets the most votes, who gets the funding for the year?
For 100 women? Yeah, so I will tell you over the years, it depends on who sends in an application, but over the years, we've helped Starkville Strong, we've helped, again, Boys and Girls Club, we've helped the Starkville Public Library, we've helped the J.L. King Center, let's see, who else?
Do Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, are they helped you?
I don't know that we've gotten an application from them in the past, but they are certainly eligible to send in an application. Our grant application, in fact, is live on our website right now. If you go to the Starkville Community Foundation website, go to 100 Women Who Care, our grant application is open as we speak. Yes, ma'am.
I tell you what we do with our RMD, we send it to Create, and then we designate it where we want it to go. And we can put it with the 100 Women or
Starkville Community Foundation.
Community Foundation, your church or whatever.
We held a workshop late last year on that very thing, educating people on how they can use those RMDs and how it can help Starkville and the foundation, so.
No, they taxes on it.
That's exactly right. No taxes. I think you gave us a brief presentation on that too, also here at Rotary.
Aundrea, this is kind of a stupid question, but how many times have you been behind his camera over the years?
When I walked in, he goes, well, we're gonna do a VO or a both side on it, that's TV talk, and I'm like, whatever you wanna do, Ronnie, whatever you wanna do.
We're glad to have Ryan here.
Yes, we are, we are. I will say, I chuckled a little bit, and then I'm gonna sit, when Susan mistakenly said that we're gonna have the rodeo at Mississippi State University, every head in here swiveled to Sid's altar. Because he's gonna have to go back and scramble together a statement to clear that up when y'all go back to work and talk about it. I'm just telling you right now. Thank you all so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you for your presentation, Aundrea. A donation will be made in your honor to MSU's Bullies Pantry. Anything else for today? All right, if nothing else, let's stand and repeat our motto.